home chargers. More about that later. You two ready for school?
No!
It's a miracle. What's up?
Pineapple!
This is more like it. Gone from having loads of time to rushing around like maniacs now. Have you got your pineapple? Come on. God, how does that happen? Go from being more than on time, got loads of time to spare, to rushing around like a maniac, and we were one of the last to arrive. And to top it all off, I just trod in dog muck outside the car. So I've been wiping that off. So now they're dropped off, I can carry on with my morning routine, which is straight from school to the gym, get that out of the way, and then the rest of the day is my own. Well, until 3 o'clock when I have to pick them up, obviously, and then all hell breaks loose again. And I'm also really aware that, I think I've mentioned before, next week I'm going away for the week with work, and it's the first of 3 weeks, although I'll be home at the weekends. It's going to be quite difficult for Sarah. She's obviously got to get herself to work, but also sort the kids out in the morning. Ultimately, what I want to try and do is make it as easy for her as possible, and I guess if it's easy for her, then I don't get it in the neck when I come home at the weekends. So that's my plan. Spend the next couple of days really getting on top for her, making sure everything's organised, and making it as simple as possible for the next few weeks. Walking back to the car, I've just realised how filthy it is. The sun's shining down, and it's really highlighted how badly it needs a clean. So I'm going to call in at a local hand wash place. They're so cheap, it's barely worth doing it yourself. Enough time now for me to get a coffee. That one. Thank you. There we go, home now, and an opportunity to take you through my charger here at home and how it all got set up and the reason I made the decisions I did. Right, now excuse the mess, it is on my list of jobs to do. I still haven't got round to it, but here's the setup inside. So from the fuse box in my garage has been run this little box here, which if you can see, it shows you the kilowatt hours that have been used since it's been installed. Now that says 8,053.2 kilowatt hours since this has been installed just over 2 years ago. So hang on, let me do some workings out. Right, so 8,053 kilowatt hours over just over 2 years. I think it's 2 years and 2 months. My tariff here is about 11p per kilowatt hour, so I've worked it out on that. I've done just short of 30,000 miles in my Leaf. Bearing in mind I do occasionally charge elsewhere, but most of it's done at home. So that's cost me £885.83. So you know, that's nothing. Let's be honest, over 2 and a bit years, that's amazing. Right, so that's how it works inside. So that's what they installed inside. Outside, basically it was all done via Nissan. They recommended the company, set it up. I then spoke to the company and decided on the charger. So it's starting to rain. I'll explain my decisions on the charger in a minute, but it's a Rolex 7 kilowatt charger. It's untethered, so type 1 to type 2 connector, which ultimately hope it will all be future proof. So from there, that then plugs into the front of the car. And my car charges at 3.3 kilowatts. So let me get in here out of the rain. Right, let me explain my choices. So this car I had as standard with 3.3 kilowatt charger on board. I chose a 7 kilowatt charger to go on the wall. Now the way it works is the charger in the car is how fast it can accept the electricity into its battery, and the one on the wall is how fast it can pump that electricity out down the cable into the car. Now obviously there's a deficit on mine. The charger option for the wall that I was given was a 3 kilowatt charger, which would have obviously matched the car. Now I wanted to future-proof myself, and this is one of the big questions that people ask: should I go for a better charger than my car can accept? Well, in my opinion, yes. Especially, you know, as we found, once you own an EV, generally that's it, you stick with them, you don't go back. So they're only going to get better, and I'm already seeing that when I'm looking for my next EV. Generally the charge rates are better in them, and certainly the new Leaf they're talking about in the UK, it's being, you know, the 6.6 kilowatt onboard charger is going to be standard. So, you know, if that's what I end up buying, then I've definitely made the right decision. I've future-proofed myself. It was a minimal additional charge. I'm trying to remember, I think it was something in the region of just under £100 extra I had to pay. Bear in mind this is over 2 years ago, in order to get that uprated charger. So the fitting was really quick and easy. It took them an hour or two. Just 2 guys came, very, very nice, local company, fitted it all. The government grants were all sorted out by Nissan. I didn't have to worry about anything. Literally just the decisions I needed to make were: what size charger do I want, and do I want it tethered or untethered? Now initially I wanted it tethered. My thinking behind that was I'm going to have the cable come with the unit, then I'm not going to have to buy an additional cable because they're not cheap, and it's as simple as then plugging it straight into the car. I was kind of put off by the company who installed it. Now their reasoning was, again, around future proofing. They said, well, you know, what if you buy a different brand of car, or the next car you've got has got a different cable? So I forked out for a second type 1 to type 2 cable, which basically lives in my charger. So it is a tethered charger. It's just when it comes time to change the car, if it's a different cable, I'll take that cable out, sell it, and put a new cable in. With hindsight, I'm 100% pleased that I did that. I'm glad I didn't go tethered. I'm glad I've got that flexibility now. So that was my thinking behind that. Why didn't I get the uprated charger in the car, the 6.6 kilowatt? Simply a matter of cost. So that's the cables and the setup that I've got on my wall here at home. Now in addition to that, obviously you get the granny charger with the car. I also bought a second type 1 to type 2 lead that lives in the boot of the car, so I don't have to be worried about taking the cable out of the wall at home, wrapping it up, putting it in the boot every morning, getting it back out, plugging it in. I want to make it as easy as possible. Now whilst, you know, I'm happy to do a little bit of faffing around, for Sarah there is no compromise. She doesn't want to be bothered with some new technology that takes longer for her to sort out than in just jumping in a ice car and going. So it was all about ease, a little bit of initial outlay, and it's made our life really, really simple. Right, so I'm going to tuck in here out the wind and the rain. So you can see I've got 2 bags here. They both hitch up here just to keep them in place. This one holds a granny charger, and this one holds my type 1 type 2. Ultimately I bought that type 1 type 2 direct from Nissan when I got the car, and as part of the negotiation I managed to get them to throw in a second bag for me, and it just keeps things neat and tidy, keeps them all out of the way. And there we go, that's another day absolutely flown by. It's time to pick the kids up again. So hopefully that's been of some use to you, and it just kind of shows you how I managed to make an EV work day to day with very, very little hassle or problem. And ultimately for us, it's far, far simpler than an ICE car and worrying about having to go to garages and all the rest of it. And I haven't even spoken about servicing today because, again, it's just so simple. But I need to go and get the kids now from school. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's vlog. It's been, as I say, of some use to you. If you have, remember to like and share it. And if you're not doing so already, subscribe to the channel. And you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll speak to you again soon. Take care.